Okay. Are they turning red? Oh, there we go. Commissioner Gilman, you ready to go? Ready. Mr. Chairman Mitchell?
Yes, sir.
County Manager Osborne? All right. All right. Good morning, everyone. Today is September 2nd, 2025. It's 10:03 a.m. There was a quorum present. We're going to go ahead and call this meeting to order. If you can, brings us to item number 2, which is to convene as the Storey County Board of County Commissioners. Bring us to item number 3, which is the Pledge of Allegiance. If you can all join me for that. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. On to item number 4 is public comment. Public comment is welcomed at the beginning and end of each meeting. These comments should be limited to matters not on today's calendar or agenda. Public comment is again welcomed after each item on the agenda, and those comments should be limited to the agendized topic. As a reminder, public comment is limited to 3 minutes per individual. With that said, is there any public comment in the courtroom today? All right, not seeing any. We're going to move right on along to item number 5, which is discussion for possible action, consideration and possible approval of the agenda for the September 2nd, 2025 meeting. County Manager Osborne, are there any changes to today's agenda?
There are. We would like to remove number 23, Silverland Inn, from the agenda completely.
All right, is it going to get pushed, or is that?
Just remove it. It's fine.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Gilman, do you have any questions or comments about today's agenda?
None, thank you.
Vice Chairman?
I'm good.
How about public comment? Not seeing any. Vice Chairman, you prepared to make a motion?
Yeah, I move to approve today's agenda with the noted change.
Second?
There's a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Motion passes unanimously. On to item number 6, discussion for possible action, consideration and possible approval of the minutes from the July 15th, 2025 meeting. Commissioner Gilman, any questions or comments about those minutes?
None, thank you.
Vice Chairman?
Oh, I'm fine, thank you.
All right, how about public comment on those minutes? Not seeing any. Vice Chairman, you prepared to make a motion?
Yeah, I move to approve the minutes of our July 15th, 2025 meeting as presented.
Second?
There's a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Motion passes unanimously. On to item number 7 is today's consent agenda. Commissioner Gilman, questions or comments about that?
None, thank you.
All right, Vice Chairman?
No, I'm good, thank you.
Okay. Is there any public comment regarding today's consent agenda? Not seeing any. Vice Chairman, you prepared to make a motion?
Yeah, I move to approve today's consent agenda as presented.
Second?
There's a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Motion carries unanimously. On to item number 8, discussion only, no action, no public comment will be taken. These are committee and staff reports, and we will kick things off at the Sheriff's Office today.
Nothing today.
Thank you, Sheriff. Moving right along to the Fire Protection District.
Bob Reiser, for the record. A more significant thing for us, back in June, you authorized us to talk to Switch about the purchase of a ladder truck, and on Friday, we secured $2,541,086 for the purchase of a ladder truck. We signed the invoice. We'll get them their payment this week, and roughly 12 months, which is light speed anymore for apparatus, we should be taking ownership of a new ladder truck for District 75.
It's great news. Thanks very much.
Absolutely.
Commissioner Gilman, do you have any questions or comments?
None, thank you.
All right, Vice Chairman?
No, thank you.
Okay. Thank you. How about Public Works? All right, thank you, Jason. How about our Operations and Projects Coordinator?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mike Northen, Project Manager. I'll keep it brief today. I'll start out with Lockwood Senior Community Center. Substantial completion was reached on August 25. This begins our closeout phase of the project. We've passed our fire inspection, health inspection, and our final building inspection, and we have received a certificate of occupancy. Final completion was scheduled for September 4, but with many last-minute punch list items, the prime contractor has requested an additional 15 calendar days, putting final completion on September 19. This project's been a very successful project with a total schedule slip of 4.6% and a total budget slip as of right now with all known change orders at 3.6%, definitely putting this project well within the gold standard. Can't say enough about our project team. The consultants, the contractor, the stakeholders, all really came together, produced just a great project. Number 2 is the Mark Twain Community Center Vehicle Storage Building. This project has been awarded, and I'm working through the contracts right now. We'll be holding a pre-construction conference in the next couple of weeks to get the project kicked off. I'll be handing this project off to our other project manager, Chris Trotta, for him to manage, so he'll likely be reporting on progress going forward. Number 3, the TRI Sheriff Substation. RFQ is now closed out. We got 3 responses, so the evaluation committee will be meeting to review and evaluate all the responses, and we may have a recommendation for the board at the next meeting. Number 4, the Tri Restroom remodel is currently on hold as we're addressing some concerns. We're working with the DA's office, hope to have a resolution soon, and we'll get moving on that project. And we have multiple other projects in bid document development. We'll be updating the board as we proceed with those. With that, I'd be happy to take any questions.
Thank you, Mike. Commissioner Gilman, any questions or comments for Mike?
None, thank you.
Vice Chairman?
No, that's a great report. Thanks for the progress on all those projects.
All right, agreed. Thank you, Mike.
Thank you, sirs.
How about our Business Development Director?
I'll be doing Laura's today. So Sarah starts for the record. The FY 26-27 Storey County Nonprofit Operations Support Grant Program application is now available. It's posted on the website, and I sent it out to all of our local nonprofits, but if there's anyone I missed or anyone you guys know wants to apply, please feel free to send them to that link on our website. This competitive program provides up to $1.1 million in total funding to eligible 501c3 and 501c19 organizations located in Storey County whose mission benefits county residents or supports the restoration of county-owned historic buildings. Applications are due to the Clerk Treasurer's Office no later than 4 p.m. on December 19, 2025, and grant awards will be based on application scoring and available funds, with disbursements beginning in July 2026 upon board approval. That's all I have.
Thank you for the update, Sarah. Commissioner Gilman, questions or comments?
None, thank you.
Vice Chairman?
No, thanks.
All right, appreciate it. Nothing, oh, sorry. Planning Department?
Nothing today, thank you.
How about our Admin Officer? Nothing today. Emergency Management?
Nothing today.
After last week? Nothing? All right. All right. About the BCTC?
Good morning, Commissioners. Todd Tuttle, Director of Tourism, for the record. Just a few updates. We've got a number of buses that are coming in this week for the camel races, so look for them on C Street and down at the races themselves. A big thank you for the Sheriff's Office, Public Works, the Emergency Management, in their assistance in all of these events that go on. The motorcycle roundup at the fairgrounds went very smoothly along with the way. The concert over here at Piper's Opera House went very well. We added this concert in the evening. It's something that we want to reevaluate. We're looking for comments from the public and from around town about things that worked, that didn't work. We'd like to fine-tune that to see if it's something we want to continue with. Of course, the Labor Day weekend went extremely well. The parade went smoothly. We had 20 entries within it. And by moving the north-south battle to be before the parade, worked out really well, particularly with the crowd, to be able to enjoy it and have that performance. So great things there. And again, I can't thank enough for the other departments that help out to make these things such a great success for it. Upcoming, the 66th Annual International Camel and Ostrich Races is Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Saturday, everything is sold out except for a few general admission tickets and standing room only. Sunday, same thing. We've got some general admission to come in. Friday, we still have quite a number of tickets that are available for our local groups. $10 can be purchased down at the visitor center. You do have to purchase them in person. The biggest thing is the camel hump that'll be on Saturday at noon. So have your cameras ready as we bring the camels up to C Street and pop them in and out of a few saloons to have a good time with it. We're excited about that because that always draws a huge crowd. And of course, the camel rides on Sunday morning. The first 100 kids get a free ride on the camel, and it is open to others to buy a ticket and be able to ride the camels. Just so you know, but great fun time on that family day on Sunday. There will be shuttles operating from the center of C Street down to the fairgrounds. We have two that we brought in, plus our standard shuttle running back and forth. So if anybody has questions about where to park or how to park, anywhere is going to be comfortable, as the shuttles will be able to get you down to the camel races themselves. Other events coming up: the Virginia City Hill Climb on the 13th and 14th, the 100-mile endurance horse race on September 20th, the Comstock Film Festival at the Fourth Ward School, September 20th through the 21st, Street Vibrations Fall Rally, September 25th through the 28th. They do expect a few bikes to be coming up on Thursday and Friday. Saturday will be the heavy day, and then there will be some that trickle off on Sunday. We will close the road on Saturday to bike movement only. That we will not allow cars to come down through the center of C Street. They will be diverted to B and D streets as usual. There will be bike parking only along the C Street area, but cars can move on Friday and on Sunday. So just to make that clear, we'll be sending out a flyer to all of our residents to let them know about how that's going to unfold. Hontober begins in October. It's right around the corner with the outhouse races. We've already got quite a number of entries to go in with it. The Vora Gold Rush, the off-road race, Friday, October 10th. Tech inspection will be on C Street. Red Run 7, we're bringing Red Run back for the first time in a number of years, will be held on October 11th. The Mark Twain Days, October 17th through the 19th. Friday, October 22nd, or October 17th, will be the Twain Train. They'll arrive here at 3:30 in the afternoon, departing around 5:30. So it's a special train coming up, and again, related to the Mark Twain Days associated with it. The Spirits Made Me Do It Saloon Crawl will be October 25th. So there's the list. More to come, but any questions or anything I can answer?
Thank you for that update, Todd. Commissioner Gilman, any questions or comments?
None, thank you.
Vice Chairman?
So is that all you got going on?
That's it.
Awesome, thank you, Todd. Moving along to our Health and Community Services Director.
Good morning, Stacy York for the record. Last week we were supposed to have Sheriff's Night Out here in Virginia City. The rain kind of destroyed that event, so it has been rescheduled for September 9th, 5 to 8 in Miners Park. We're having flu shot clinics starting in October. The first one will be October 10th at the Mark Twain Community Center, 10:30 to noon, and then at the Storey County Resource Fair, excuse me, at Piper's on October 14th from 1 to 3. And that is it.
All right, thank you for that, Stacy. Just to confirm, the Sheriff's Night Out's on the 9th, starting at 5?
Correct.
All right. Commissioner Gilman, any questions or comments for Stacy?
None, thank you.
Vice Chairman?
I'm good, thanks.
All right, thank you
Thank you.
again. How about community development? Thank you, Joe. Lee, you don't have anything for us? All right. How about the DA's office? Brian?
No update today, thank you.
Thank you, Brian. How about the county manager's office?
I don't today, thank you.
All right. Clerk treasurer?
It's an easy one today. Nothing, thank you.
All right. Well, thank you, everybody, for those updates. Some great news out there. We're going to move right along to item number 9, which is board comment. No action, no public comment will be taken. Start to my left. Commissioner Gilman, anything for us today?
None, thank you.
All right. Vice Chairman?
I don't have any specific comments, thank you.
All right. I don't have much today. Just wanted to say thank you to everybody who came out to the Highlands on Saturday. We had a community potluck out there. It was a very nice turnout. Got to meet some new residents and connect with some folks that we normally don't see. So that is all I have. And that brings us to recess as a Storey County Highway Board. We do have a public hearing at 10:30. Trying to see if there's anything else we can hit before that.
So recess to convene.
Recess to convene as the Highway Board. What did I say?
Recess.
Oh, we're just recessing? Yeah, that's out.
pop up some other item.
10-minute break.
Hold on a second. Might be one.
Fire.
It's quick little justice of the peace.
Yeah, that pretty much.
Yeah. Do we want to, thank you. Do we want to do?
I'm okay with that if we do this fire district. Are you okay with that? If you do the RS 2477 is past 10:30, it doesn't matter. As long as you don't do it before 10.
Oh, okay. So what we're going to do, since I think the entire fire district is here, we're going to go ahead and jump forward to that. So we are going to recess as the Storey County Highway Board and reconvene as the Storey County Fire Protection District. And we're going to go ahead and just take care of 17, 18, and 19 right now. And so with that, we are now the Fire Board, and we're on to item number 17, which is discussion for possible action, badge pinning ceremony and oath for newly appointed Fire Chief Robert Reiser.
Good morning, Commissioners. Jeremy Longcar for the record. So in sticking with fire service tradition, with the recent appointment of Chief Reiser as the Fire Chief of the Storey County Fire Protection District, we'd like to do his badge pinning, and as well, I think it's also important that we renew that oath with each step we make, in our careers with the fire district. So, Chairman, if you could please join me, we can conduct the oath, and immediately proceeding, I'll have his lovely wife, Kat, come up and do the pinning.
Great.
So, Chief Reiser. Stand up.
Raise your right hand, please. I state your name.
I, Bob Reiser,
Upon my sacred honor, do promise and swear
upon my sacred honor, do promise and swear,
I will professionally conduct myself in the discharge of my duties.
I will professionally conduct myself in the discharge of my duties.
I shall conserve property, save lives, and protect the environment.
I shall conserve property, protect lives, and save the environment.
That works. Save lives, protect the environment. I solemnly swear that I will obey the Constitution
I solemnly swear that I will obey the Constitution
and laws of the United States and the state of Nevada.
and laws of the United States and the state of Nevada.
I will uphold the values, ethics,
I will uphold the values, ethics,
and the image of the fire district,
and image of the fire district,
to which I ask all to bear witness.
to which I ask all to bear witness.
Congratulations, man.
Thank you.
Looking forward to it.
Kat, if you'd like to join us.
It's got a stick.
Well, thank you, Commissioners. Would we like to get just a photo with everybody while we're here?
I think so.
And we'll finish out. That is my last agenda item, so thank you very much.
All right, bringing us to item number 18, which is discussion for possible action. Consideration and possible approval of Resolution 25-795, a resolution honoring the service and retirement of Fire Chief Jeremy Longcar.
Bob Reiser for the record. We have a very special commemorative piece for Chief Longcar, which the text is a little hard to read, so I have a separate resolution to read for him. So, Chief Longcar, if you could come up and join me.
You all didn't see our emergency manager bring tissues in. I thought that was kind of cool. Oh, he's going to see it.
Any emergency.
Right?
So basically what it says, it's old school calligraphy, etc., but a consolidated version so I can actually understand the text. Glasses aren't necessarily good enough. A resolution honoring the retirement of Jeremy Longcar. Whereas Chief Longcar has honorably dedicated over 30 years of exemplary service to the Nevada Fire Service, with the last 10 with our Storey County Fire Protection District. Whereas his unwavering commitment and contributions have greatly benefited the district and community, and whereas Chief Longcar will retire on this second day of September 2025, concluding a distinguished career and leaving a lasting legacy of excellence and dedication. Now therefore be it resolved that the Board of Fire Commissioners of the Storey County Fire Protection District expresses its gratitude and congratulations to Chief Longcar and wishes him a fulfilling retirement. Passed and adopted this 2nd of September, 2025.
Thank you very much for that. Commissioner Gilman, do you have any questions or comments at this time?
Just thank you for your service and all you've done for the community.
Well said. Vice Chairman?
Yeah, I'll add my thanks as well. You know, you left us in a great spot and made a real difference. Thank you, Chief.
Yeah, my fellow commissioners said it best, but, you know, had the opportunity to work with you for the 6 years I've been here pretty much as a commissioner. To see the turnaround in the fire district is admirable. When you came on board, we had folks jumping ship, I think, what seemed like every week, every month. I don't know that we've had too many folks actually leave the fire district since you took over. To me, that's an absolute excellent compliment to your service as the fire chief. You've been here through getting us through, I think, some tough times. We have 71 that's on its way to getting done. We've got the new station out at the industrial park that is also on its way. You know, I don't know how much better of a career wrap-up you could ask for, my friend, but you've done a great job, and just wanted to make sure that that's on the record. So thank you for your service, and look forward to you being a regular citizen after this. So that's all I have. Is there any public comment at this time?
I guess a citizen, Mike Cullen, Storey County resident, also the sheriff of the county. I've only known Jeremy for a few years, and I've been in law enforcement and public safety for a long time. And I gotta say, and I'll say in front of everybody, I couldn't have been more honored to work with a guy with such upstanding moral value and integrity. The fire department and the sheriff's office have really come together here in the county in the last few years, and I just can't thank Jeremy enough for all his efforts. And as a resident, I feel safe, and God knows I've needed the fire department a few times the last couple of years, but they've always come through. And as the sheriff, I couldn't be more honored. So thank you, Jeremy. Appreciate it.
Todd Tuttle, Director of Tourism, for the record. Same thing, I'd like to add our voice to that working with Jeremy as I came on board, he was part of being able to make the success of the events that have occurred and all that went on. No matter what happened, along the way we could rely on Jeremy to be there with his crew and his team and all support to make those functions and events run extremely smoothly. As a gentleman, he was always courteous to those that were surrounding us. When we had to get things pushed through, he was always there, and it was extremely smooth. So my hat's off and my love for what he did for us. It was just fabulous to be able to work with him. So thank you very much.
Is there any other public comment in the room?
I
We're
don't
doing
have,
his last review, right?
this is it, this is the one. Austin Osborne for the record, County Manager. I just want to extend my appreciation for the fire chief on working out challenges from transitioning things of the past to the current, and there's lots of moving parts, as we know, and working with Jeremy has been a pleasure. I know he's very dedicated to what he does, and he has built a stellar organization with which I'm quite proud. So thank you, sir. It was a pleasure working with you. Thank you.
Is there any other public comment? All right, not seeing any. Vice Chairman, you prepared to make a motion?
I am. I, Fire Commissioner Mitchell, move to adopt Resolution 25-795, a resolution honoring the service and retirement of Fire Chief Jeremy Longcar, recognizing his dedicated service and leadership to the Storey County Fire Protection District and the community.
Second.
There is a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Motion passes unanimously. Congratulations, Jeremy. Here's our temporary Julia. Here you are. Thank you. Until you left. Great retirement, man. Thank you. All right, on to some little more fire district business. Item number 19, discussion for possible action. Consideration and possible approval of the creation of policy P-503C, fleet manager, mechanic compensation, establishing incentive pay for education, operational certifications, and fitness standards. Chief Reiser.
Bob Reiser for the record again. One of the things that we've historically done with a lot of our positions to kind of help them strive to progress in their career is create different incentive structures for them. With that, with bringing on a new fleet manager mechanic, we wanted to build in that same structure for that individual. And that creates an education requirement or an education incentive, as well as some operational certifications for them to long-term create a better mechanic for us with pump certifications and different heavy equipment apparatus certifications. And then also something that we have made available to all of our members is the Category 3 fitness incentive to make sure that we're maintaining fit, healthy employees for the fire district.
All right, thank you. Commissioner Gilman, do you have any questions or comments?
I do not, thank you.
Vice Chairman?
I don't know.
All right, is there any public comment regarding this item? Not seeing any. Vice Chairman, you prepared to make a motion?
And I, Fire Commissioner Mitchell, move to approve policy P-503C, fleet manager mechanic compensation, establishing incentive pay for education, operational certifications, and fitness standards as outlined in the policy.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Motion passes unanimously. Thank you very much. All right, that brings us back to item number 11, which is our public hearing.
I think you got recess.
Oh, excuse me, I got a recess as the Fire Protection District to reconvene as the Storey County Board of County Commissioners, now bringing us to item number 11. Oh, highway. I'll wait till everybody gets out.
We need hats.
Two.
We need hats for each board. Put on and-
We're still the commission board right now, so remind me.
Okay. Yeah, well. We are going to the highway now.
Yeah.
Not yet. Look at his hats. Feather boas when we're the brothel boys. It's the highway planning department.
Highway Planning Department. All right. So my apologies. We are now the Storey County Board of County Commissioners, and we must recess to convene as the Storey County Highway Board. Brian, are we on track?
Yes, we're now fully on track.
Thank you, sir. All right, so it is 10:33. This hearing is now open. I will ask if there's any public comment regarding any items mentioned within this hearing. Come on up to the podium, state your name for the record, sir.
Hello, my name's Tom Zachary.
Morning, Tom.
Good morning. How are you guys?
Doing well, thank you.
Any of you who've known me for a while, I've been around here 50 years or a little better. I am concerned about roads, and I was part of the lawsuit over Sutro Springs Road years ago that relied on this 2477 law. And I would just like to remind everyone that the purpose of the law is to recognize roads that were built over public land before 1976, and that when land becomes private property, if those roads are there, those roads are still public roads. And one of my issues here is that, and I decided to come today because, which one is it? Resolution 25793 over the road number 910220 is a perfect example of what my concerns are. When Jerry Elkins did this survey and did this work, I met with him a couple of times, and he used some of my maps to do his work. And when we went to court over the Sutro Springs Road, it was the information that I provided pretty much that got Storey County and the rest of us to be able to win that lawsuit. On this particular road, it shows it on the map as one piece of road that goes from the Lyon County line into Virginia City. In the description here in the minutes today, it doesn't mention any segments of the road. And the map does not show any segments of the road. On the next page, it talks about 4 different segments, and it gives descriptions, but without going out there with a ruler, there's no way for a citizen to know what's going on. It doesn't show it on the maps. It doesn't show it in the larger descriptions of the roads that are in the big notes for the meeting. I don't know what you call those.
Packet?
The packets, yes. It doesn't show any of those segments like on a map. So there's no way to know. And then when it says, it also says in those notes that this applies only to the segments of the road that traverse land managed by the Bureau of Land Management, the U.S. Department of the Interior, and the U.S. Forestry Service, and does not apply to segments of the road that traverse land owned by any other person or entity. Later on, in the same description, it says RS 2477 assertion is to the segments of the road that traverse land reserved and managed by BLM, USF, Department of the Interior, and segments of the road that traverse land owned by any other person or entity. So which are we doing? That's my question. And I guess that's my question. That it's confusing, and it also, there's one more thing. In order to close a road, there has to be a public hearing. So is this public hearing to recognize parts of this road as a public road and parts of the road as a private road, and thus be closing that road? Is this a dual purpose hearing? What's going on?
Thank you, Tom.
And it's not, I just chose this one because this one it's very evident, because there are segments that go on to, one more thing. We got into in that lawsuit several years ago, that one of our problems here is because of the checkerboard, because the land that was given to the railroads. And so one idea of the railroad land is that when that law was signed in 1861, and every other section of land on 10 miles on either side of the whole railroad was given to the railroad for them to sell and do what they wanted with, that one view on that is that land became private property when that law was signed in 1861. The actual law states that that land would be in 10-mile segments of length of railroad, and when the railroad was completed and accepted by the federal government, that 10-mile, it would be done in 10-mile sections, and that 10 miles would be given to, or would be deeded over to the railroad. There wasn't much railroad in Nevada in 1861. There wasn't any of this around here was there in 1861. Some of that land that I've looked at was not officially deeded to the Central Pacific Railroad until the 1930s. I know this makes things a lot more complicated, but there are roads out there that people have been using forever. And one of these little segments over private land will end that.
Thank you, Tom.
Okay, I think I'm done.
Appreciate it.
I'm old, I can't remember if I'm done or not.
It's all right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for listening, I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Is there any other public comment? All right. Do we want to, so no other public comment? You want to make a motion to close out the public hearing?
I think I will, yeah.
You don't have anything else, right?
No, that's it, and just, Mr. Zachary, it's as a public hearing, we're probably not gonna discuss under this item, but we'll go through each of them, and then we'll have more discussion on each of the resolutions.
Like I said, my concerns are really about the entire process. It says the same thing on all the roads.
Yes, sir, yeah, we'll get a chance to discuss it
And even the ones that have already.
in just a moment, yeah, thank you. All right. Sorry, I thought it was there, not there. All right. I, Commissioner Mitchell, move to close the public hearing on the proposed resolutions 25-791, 25-792, 25-793, and 25-794.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Motion passes unanimously. I do just want to take a moment to, again, thank you for taking the time to come down, Tom, and express your comments. Moving on to item number 12 is discussion for possible action. Consideration and possible approval of Resolution 25-791 proposes the identification of Storey County Road number 910200. Jessica?
Yes, Jessica Prager for the record. So this is one of the RS 2477 roads in the program. This road is unnamed and located east of Main Street or Nevada Highway 342 and west of Nevada Highway 341 near the south end of the Storey County boundary line. And within the resolution, it excludes any portion that is on private property.
All right, thank you. Does that basically cover what was just talked about?
Well, I'm not sure exactly what he was, we've talked to Tom many times. Lindy Renault for the record.
Yeah.
We're doing this to keep the roads on BLM land open. And regarding the private property, if it became necessary, if somebody was trying to close the road, we have the research and the legal description to prevent that.
And has that been explained to Tom?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Yes, it has. And I believe, well, we're not on that item yet. I'll expand on that item he was
just said it
talking
covered
about.
everything, so.
Yeah. Yeah, and we specifically did that based on legal counsel's guidance to not do the private property at this time, but we would do anything that was on BLM land, any kind of government land, in order to keep those open so that they could not close those to the public.
Okay. Lindy, my apologies. I'm going to ask you to repeat that one more time now that Mr. Zachary's back in the room. Can we just cover what you just mentioned about?
Oh, sure. So, and Tom, I've talked to you many times, as you know, and yeah, he's talked to the researcher many times. These are done to prevent the BLM land or any government land from closing those lands that are on public land so that they cannot close those roads. We excluded the private property we still have the basis of proof for them not to close it. We decided to exclude those at this time and just keep those basically in the county's pocket. If the private landowner tried to close those at another time, but we're not doing that at the moment. It is in the resolution that those are excluded.
Okay.
And they're generally small portions that are going through private land. I'm not sure if that answers the question or not.
That works for me. Thank you for that. Commissioner Gilman, do you have any questions or comments at this time?
I do not, thank you.
Vice Chairman?
Just one or two. So if I can just restate what you just said to make sure I understood it correctly. So the action that we're taking here is to protect the right-of-way or the right of passage on these sections of road that are over public land. We are silent at this point on the sections that are on private land. We're not addressing those. That's not a decision one way or another. We're just not taking action on those at this point, but could at some point in the future.
Correct. If it became an issue at some point in the future with a private landowner trying to close a road that we have proof in a legal description, then we would pursue that at that point.
Very good, thank you. And I just wanted to repeat Mr. Zachary's question. He was asking about, noted a requirement that if we were to close a road, there would need to be, on a private portion, there would need to be a hearing, but that's not part of what we're dealing with today. We're not considering any sort of closures. This is to preserve passage on the public sections only.
Correct.
Very good, thank you.
All right. Is there any public comment at this time? Mr. Zachary, please come on up. You'll notice that there is a clock for this.
But we got 4 different road sections, so you get 3 minutes
You get
each.
3 minutes each.
No, it's just that.
Mr. Zachary, it's a formality.
Okay,
Please
Tom
state your-
Zachary, again. The 2477 is partly about recognizing the roads that are on public land, that are still on public land. But that's not the limit of it. The limit of it is any road that was built on public land while it was public land. There should be hundreds of roads out in Trick. Hundreds of roads that were out there before the BLM part of that became private property. All over. There are roads on these maps that are on public land that Jerry didn't get to for some reason. Now, there are lots of roads out there. I understand what they're saying, but the lawsuit I was involved in involved land that was private property. When the lawsuit happened, it was private property when the people sued me, but the road had been there since at least before 1867, and that did not become private property until about 1976. So it's the lawsuits will be coming, and that one cost me almost $25,000. It's going to cost some other landowner that, and the county was involved. So the county, luckily, it was in a group of counties that got some money back. That was very expensive, and unfortunately, Judge Hicks who was the judge in that case, was the one hit by the car a couple of years ago. He's not around to back us up.
Thank you, Tom. Thank you. Is there any other public comment regarding this item? Not seeing any. Vice Chairman, are you prepared to make a motion at this time?
I am prepared to make a motion, and I just have one last comment before I do, and that is that, the way that we've been doing this is kind of piecemeal. We've been taking a few at a time and establishing that right a few at a time. And if I remember correctly in our discussions, for now, we have stayed away from, we've only focused on those that are on public land because it's a little bit simpler. There's less complication. We know that we can very clearly define this was a road, we can prove and establish that right as a county road, and then move on. And so I expect this process to continue, and both in the way that we're doing it, but then potentially at some point looking at those segments that are on private land as well.
Yes, correct.
All right. With that, in accordance with the recommendation by staff, I, Commissioner Mitchell, move to adopt Resolution 25-791, which proposes the identification of Storey County Road number 910200, commonly known as unnamed, total road segment length in horizontal distance of 3,948 feet or 0.75 miles, overall average disturbed width of approximately 16 feet. It is proposed that the road be identified as a minor county road. The effect of identifying the road as a minor county road is to identify it as a public road available for public use, but not maintained by Storey County. It must be used by motorists at their own risk.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Motion passes unanimously. Moving on to item number 13, which is discussion for possible action. Consideration and possible approval of resolution number 25-792 proposes the identification of Storey County Road number 910215. Jessica?
Jessica Prager for the record. This road is unnamed, located east of Nevada Highway 341 near the south end of the Storey County boundary line. And within the resolution, it excludes any portion that is on private property.
Thank you, Jessica. Commissioner Gilman, do you have any questions or comments?
None, thank you.
Vice Chairman?
I'm good.
Is there any public comment? Not seeing any. Vice Chairman, are you prepared to make a motion?
I am. In accordance with the recommendation by staff, I, Commissioner Mitchell, move to adopt Resolution 25-792, which proposes the identification of Storey County Road number 910215, commonly known as unnamed, total road segment length 3,942 feet or 0.75 miles, overall average disturbed width approximately 18 feet. It is proposed that the road be identified as a minor county road. The effect of identifying the road as a minor county road is to identify it as a public road available for public use but not maintained by Storey County. It must be used by motorists at their own risk.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Motion passes unanimously. On to item number 14. This is discussion for possible action. Consideration and possible approval of resolution number 25-793 proposes the identification of Storey County Road number 910220. 3 segments. Jessica?
Jessica Prager for the record. This road is in 3 segments, commonly known as Freedom Hill or Tunnel Road. And it is a continuous road but broken into 3 sections due to the length of the road being located in different townships and ranges and sections.
All right. Thank you, Jessica. Commissioner Gilman, any questions or comments?
None, thank you.
Vice Chairman?
So Jessica, the 3 segments, those are just the segments that are in those different divisions of the land.
Correct, yes.
They're not gaps in this case. It's continuous, but we're just dealing with the 3 different ones because the description is different.
Correct, yes.
Great, thank you for that clarification. I don't have any other questions.
Okay. Is there any public comment on this item? Tom, we need you to come up to the, Tom, you gotta come up to the podium. I can't do the,
We are.
yep.
Tom Zachary again. As far as I can tell by looking at the map, this is in segments because there are 3 places on the road where it crosses public land. I mean, there's no other reason to do it in segments.
Okay.
I mean, where it crosses private land.
Thank you, Tom.
If we could see it on a map, I'll show you.
Lindy Renault for the record, it doesn't appear from the legal description that it goes on private land. However, what Jessica puts in the staff report is an approximate location. Yeah, we couldn't figure out that it was in 3 segments because of private land. However, it does go through different townships, ranges, like she said, and different sections. That we are approximating that to be why it was in segments. Tom, you may have found something different.
Well, I can see
We
it
go by
right
the
here.
legal
Hold on,
description.
Tom. Just remember, hold on. The only reason I asked you to come up is because for the, all right. Austin, go ahead.
I'm just asking this question. I'll wait for, I'm asking Tom not to leave for a second because I want to ask Tom, Tom, can you just hold for a moment? If Tom's got some questions on this one map and there's some things to be discussed, I don't have any issue, and I know the planning folks don't have any issue just continuing this one.
Exactly.
That way you guys can talk it out, figure out, and bring it to another meeting. It's real easy. This is easy stuff.
My issue is
Come on up.
Tom, I'm sorry, man. It's,
We gotta get you on the record.
Tom Zachary, once more. My reason for questioning this one particular road is because it is very obvious that it is shown as a complete road from one end to the other. Blue as what we're talking about. It does cross into other sections that are private land. I assume that's where the segments are. But to know whether it's a private road, we would have to know when that land became private property. And it's not with just this road. It's pretty much the entire process. There are lots of roads that are totally on public land that are on this very map that aren't being considered. And there are other roads that are segmented. This was just a really obvious one. I thought you might have a map so we could look at it, but that's okay.
So Tom, we do have a map in the packet. What I would suggest, like County Manager had said, if there is a potential dispute or you have something that would help us with this, we can simply postpone this item I mean, to me, it sounds like it's a much bigger issue than
the whole-
just this agenda item.
The entire thing is a much bigger issue. I understand what they're doing, and that's fine.
Okay.
That's fine to go on and designate these sections that are on public land and are easily provable. I understand that. I also understand that that's exactly what happened out here when Dean Haymore said he closed a road that he didn't. And, you know, and it will come to that. It will eventually come to the fact that whoever owns that private land is going to close the road through their property, and then it has to go to court, and that costs a ton of money.
Totally understand. So what I would ask is that for this particular item, I think we're going to postpone this item, and I would ask that you please furnish them a copy or show them, at least for this particular item, so that we can get this one ironed out. Perfect.
It's on their map.
I just can't do it right now.
I know,
That's the
I
problem.
realize.
So, fantastic. Thank you, Tom.
Okay.
There's Mr. Chair.
Please,
I guess
go ahead.
probably I go up there from the start. I'm Austin Osborne for the record. I'm just going to talk globally for a minute, so this really has nothing to do with what they're working on globally to answer Mr. Zachary's questions. They're doing these in segments. A lot of it's just for workload and for this board not to have, you know, many of these all going on at once. I think we understand that. Just like Lindy had.
Pause that.
Yes.
So one of the other reasons that we are doing it in segments is for workload.
Well, okay, let me use Austin Osborne for the record.
I just want to clarify.
Yeah, let me not use the word segments.
Thank you.
Let me say batches of these
Thank you.
requests are coming to you over time. If I'm right, there would be, you know, many of them that we'd be here for quite some time going through it and it'd be fatiguing. So the planning staff has put together these batches, you know, one group at a time. Secondly, as far as the private versus the public, there's a library that the planning office has with private roads or RS-2477 roads that are located on private properties today. That is there. That is not in front of the board at the moment. We're taking care of, like Mr. Zachary said, the public roads on public land that are managed by the Bureau of Land Management today. Very simple process. And then there are some roads in the county that there may have been insufficient evidence to show that they were necessarily or not in this category, so those may not be included. We also did not put every road, if I understand, in the county in this project. At the time that this began, there were budgetary constraints and there were also resource constraints. The focus was mainly on areas that we know that our activity is happening, generally outside of the Tahoe Reno Industrial Center, places like that. And then there is always opportunity for a phase 2 of this to potentially expand into some other roads that someone like Mr. Zachary or another person may say, I really think that this segment of the county is very important. It's not on our radar. This board could give direction to continue this project with Mr. Elkins or someone qualified for those as well. That's all I have.
Thank you.
Does that sound about right? Okay, thank you.
All right. So I'm going to ask one more time for agenda item number 14. Is there any other public comment? Not seeing any. Vice Chairman, are you at this time prepared to make a motion?
I am. I move that we continue item number 14 to our next regularly scheduled meeting to give time to further examine this particular road segment.
Second.
It's September 16, by the way.
That'll be our September 16th meeting here at the courthouse.
Can I comment?
No. Yes, you
Point
can.
over. Lindy Renault. Just letting you know that we do not have the ability to change the legal description. Jerry Elkins, our researcher, is retired. We would have to hire someone new in order to change any of the research and legal descriptions that we have now for the many roads in the county. Just letting you know that it's not a simple process.
Sure.
Understood.
All right. And do we have somebody lined up that could replace Mr. Elkins
We do not,
at this time?
no.
Okay. So, all right. Where do we leave off?
I think we have a motion in a second.
Yep.
Motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously. Again, thank you for Mr. Zachary in this information. We're moving on to item number 15, which is discussion for possible action. Consideration and possible approval of resolution number 25-794 proposes the identification of Storey County Road number 910225. Jessica?
Jessica Prager for the record. This road is unnamed and located east of Nevada Highway 341 near the south border of the Storey County boundary line and leads to RS 2477 Road 910220, which is the previously approved road. And within the resolution, it excludes any portion that is on private property.
Thank you, Jessica. Commissioner Gilman, questions or comments?
None, thank you.
She was referencing it that it crosses over to. Okay, great, thank you.
Vice Chairman?
No, I'm good, thank you.
Okay, is there any public comment regarding item number 15 in this road? Not seeing any. Vice Chairman, you prepared to make a motion at this time?
I am. In coordination with the in accordance with the recommendation by staff, I, Commissioner Mitchell, move to adopt resolution number 25-794, proposing the identification of Storey County Road number 910225, commonly known as unnamed, total road segment length of 1,876 feet, overall average disturbed width of approximately 14 feet. It is proposed that the road be identified as a minor county road. The effect of identifying the road as a minor county road is to identify it as a public road available for public use, but not maintained by Storey County. It must be used by motorists at their own risk.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Motion passes unanimously. Thank you, Jessica. Thank you, Lindy.
Thank you.
Thank you again, Mr. Zachary. Appreciate it.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
I would just note that I'm happy to make myself available for discussion if that's helpful. Maybe a fresh set of eyes when you're meeting with Mr. Zachary and taking a look at what he has.
All right, we are on to item number 20, which is to recess to reconvene as the Storey County Board of County Commissioners, bringing us to item number 21. Before we continue, I have a pecuniary interest in this item, so I'm going to go ahead and recuse myself. I would ask that you just give me a minute or two to run back into the room when you guys are done discussing.
Vice chair to become chair.
That's
why there's correspondence for Brian.
Mallet's on this side.
Do you mind, Commissioner, referencing this when you do your discussion?
Referencing that it's been received?
There's the correspondence.
Sure. All right, so as mentioned, we will take up item number 21, the title of which has already been read, which is consideration and approval, guidance county staff in the process of identifying qualified candidates for appointment to the position of Storey County Justice of the Peace. I will note that we have received some correspondence in relation to this. It was just given to us as commissioners and is available to the public in the back of the room and will be added to our electronic records as well. At this time, I'm going to turn it over to Brian Brown to take us through this item.
Good morning, Commissioners. Brian Brown for the record. This item again is coming to your attention as it did last month. It's regarding the appointment of the Justice of the Peace position that will become vacant in November of this year, November 1st of this year. If you recall at your last meeting, we had the issue before you of whether you wanted to fill that vacancy using an appointment process or an election process. And at the conclusion of that meeting, you voted unanimously to utilize the appointment process. We're now back in front of you to get your guidance on two larger topics of the appointment process. The first issue that we're here to seek your advice and direction on is to get input on the application process and how candidates will be vetted by the county. I'll let Austin describe for you, potential processes and the questions and things that we have in that particular area. The second broad category of direction that we're looking for has to do with the timing of the appointment. If you look at what you've been not set forth a particular time period that requires you to fill the spot. You have to take into account many factors, and that's why a lot of discretion and leniency is given to you. Some of the things that we've pointed out that you might consider is the vacancy occurs in November of this particular year. So that might be a particular time period that you want to conclude and have someone appointed. I pointed out in the staff report that the November 4th meeting is the meeting closest to the time of Judge Harrington's vacating the position on November 1st. We've also pointed out another date in February 17th of 2026. I see there's a typo, it should be 2026, as a possible time to consider appointment. And that date is important because, again, that's another board meeting. And that will be at the conclusion of a time frame that people that are interested in running, if you recall from our last meeting, that you're able to appoint now, but we also will have this position on the election for 2026 in November, and the deadline for filing in there ends in the middle of January. And so if you delayed your appointment to that point, you would have more information to consider about who actually applied or who filed to run for the position. And you can keep going down the line for other dates that may be significant. We stopped it at 2. We didn't consider every alternative that you may have from a timing perspective. But that's an issue that we would like your particular input on. Again, there's no specific time period that you're mandated to. It would be appropriate exercise of your discretion to look at the facts, as those facts are changing with regard to when this timing would be appropriate in your eyes. And also, just so you know, Judge Harrington has stated, and she will be able to serve the role beyond her retirement as a senior judge. And so we're not in any kind of situation where the role will not be able to go vacant. We're not going to run into problems in the court process because Judge Harrington will be able to cover that. So those are kind of the timing aspects that you need to consider, is when would you like the application and the appointment process to be completed by. Perhaps you just want to revisit this and not set a firm date, and you want to revisit it at certain dates. So that's the timing element of this, what we're seeking some direction on and thoughts and discussion with you. I'll let Austin address the issues with the application process. Clearly, we will be posting the position to the public as available with the requirements, but Austin can give you the details of that particular process that we're looking for your input on.
Very good, thank you. Before we continue, Commissioner Gilman, do you have any specific questions for Brian at this point?
Just that I don't want to be held to a date. When we made this motion to appoint somebody, it was explained to me that it was our discretion, and we had time to work through this process, so I really don't have a date that I want to set to have this done.
Okay, very good. County Manager Osborne, is there anything you'd like to add? Just any sort of color around a process or what might be involved in that?
I love that color. I'd be happy to explain as Deputy DA Brown has the kind of the normal recruitment process. I also would certainly be welcome to call up our HR director in that if you would like a little explanation of that. And that might give you at least some options at what point you could say, here's the basic foundation, and then here's some other options, whether you do it now, later, or whatever, that this board could give some direction on how you would like to see that recruitment and how much involvement you'd like to see this board involved. If you want, I can talk about that.
Sure,
Okay.
yeah.
And I'll do it in the official position.
All right.
Yeah. All right, I'm still Austin Osborne for the record. I will also point that Brandy Lopez, our HR director, is present too, so she can come up at any moment, but I think I'm just giving a basic of what you have in front of you. I think what we would typically do in an appointment is per our policies would just be to post it for 2 weeks. I imagine this would be an internal posting in the county or an internal external posting, but would not be a nationwide search. But we would look at things like that as, you know, the justice of the peace does need to reside in the county. We could certainly get some guidance on that. At that point, then we would typically receive the applications and do our normal screening of candidates, just do backgrounds, make sure things are where they need to be, get some legal guidance on what are the guardrails that we need to have a place on a recruitment, being that this is a position that might have different qualifications than a typical job might that is posted, such as just being a resident, a citizen, and a certain age in the county, as opposed to having to have certain certifications and things like that. And at that point, then I think it'd be up to this board whether this board would like to appoint a member of the board to be on the interview committee, or whether this board would like to see all the candidates come up and give a presentation, or something of another nature. So I think our team internally would kind of vet and get everything set up for you, and then this board could be involved at a later point in that process as you want. I think this would be a good opportunity to have that discussion today.
Okay. Great. I guess before we deliberate further, I'll go ahead and ask if there's public comment on this particular item. All right, seeing none. So Commissioner Gilman, I appreciate your thoughts as far as the date goes. I think maybe what's important at this point, I'm supportive of leaving either some flexibility or what have you on a finishing date. I think what's probably most helpful for staff at this point is to give them an idea of how soon we want them to start. Whether we'd like to get this process going or if we'd like to wait a little bit and kind of consider how we go. So that's on the timing. I think that's kind of the issue that we should consider giving them some guidance on. And then on the process, they're asking us to at least, if we have a preference for a process, meaning we interview potential candidates directly, or if we use a committee of some sort to vet and then bring a recommendation. I'm curious if you have some thoughts one way or the other on that side of it.
I understand staff needs direction. I believe this is a little bit of a complicated scenario and issue. I don't think I'm ready to vote on a specific date at this time.
Okay.
If we can continue it for the next board meeting, I believe that would be appropriate with this new information that we've gotten today on our desk.
Okay. Yeah, and I'm happy to share a few of my thoughts just so you kind of know where I'm at as far as the date goes. You know, I'm trying to balance two things and struggling a little bit because I certainly don't want to rush in. The fact that we've chosen to go the appointment route triggers the election in this next year. And so as Mr. Brown mentioned, that then gives us some different benchmarks where different information becomes available. Who and how many people may file to run for the office, knowing that it's officially going to be open this time around. And then potentially as we get later on into the, into the process, a primary where potentially in a nonpartisan primary, someone can win 50% plus one of the vote, and they have won at that point, even though they wouldn't, that wouldn't, the primary is not usually till June. And so that's pushing it out a bit. What I'm struggling with is I certainly appreciate Judge Harrington being willing to help provide some continuity and not just take off. That being said, I have a hard time with pushing it out and not having someone sitting in the seat with the mantle, with the responsibility, calling the shots. I think the right way to do things, and I think that's probably the spirit or the intent of the law that says within a reasonable time frame, we should make a decision. Now, that's not an argument for any particular date, but those are kind of the things that I'm balancing in my mind or trying to weigh out is we want to have a thorough process, a well thought out process. At the same time, I don't want to drag it out longer than we have to. So trying to find that balance. I do find that January timeframe interesting because that will give us a pretty significant peek into, and one of the things I think that we'll want to decide is if we're appointing someone temporarily, are we looking for someone who is not interested in continuing, someone who maybe has some skills that can get us through that time and then letting the people take it from there? Or are we looking towards someone who is likely to fill that seat more long-term and basically just filling that gap with the same person? So I think those are considerations for us. Are you comfortable at this point? On the question of process, I feel like putting together a panel, whatever the composition of that panel, to accept and review and have the opportunity to interview and kind of delve a little more, tends to give us a bit more depth than if we do all of that in a public setting here. My experience has been sometimes it can be a little awkward. Maybe you're not free in a public meeting to explore everything because of time constraints or whatever that you would be able to in an interview process that then could be brought to this for whatever further discussion. So I think I'm kind of leaning a little more towards putting together some sort of a panel, interviewing candidates and bringing a recommendation.
I would agree with that. I don't think doing a public interview is the right thing to do.
Okay. So it sounds to me like that's something that we can give us some guidance to staff to kind of start preparing for that as a direction. Any thoughts as far as whether a member of this board should be part of that panel? Normally, I would say that's not a bad idea. Given that it's just the two of us, I'm wondering if maybe it's better for that not to be the case. I don't know. Certainly would welcome any comment from either legal or staff on ramifications or thoughts around that.
I understand what you're saying, and I agree with that.
Okay.
I think that would be difficult for us to be on a panel and voting.
Okay. So does, I guess my follow-up question to that is, does that provide at least some parameters around process that's helpful in as far as preparing for considering an appointment?
I think unless Brian wants to speak first, I'll speak non-legally just from the HR side or the process side. Austin Osborne for the record. So what I'm hearing is that at the staff level, we'll do the normal vetting, we'll do a posting, it'll go in the newspaper, things like that. We'll make sure that the candidates that apply are qualified. They live in the county, for example, whatever other requirements are needed in NRS. At that point then, we would then put together a panel of folks to do interviews. And that panel would not include a commissioner. And then, but it include us, probably HR, myself, whoever. And then we would come back to this board for a recommendation to recommend so-and-so, and then this board would be able also to see the qualifications of the other applicants that are qualified for the job and make a decision. I would be happy with that direction. I'm looking over at HR Director Lopez if she wants to come up on something and talk about that. And then, of course, I welcome Mr. Brown's legal.
I was just going to say HR Brandy Lopez for the record. I was going to say that's perfect. We can handle that.
Great, thank you. Brian, do you have anything to add in this regard?
Not from a legal perspective, you identified all the critical issues, and I appreciate your concern over a potential, not only awkwardness, but a potential conflict in sitting on the board and appointing. And so the process that you've chosen, it would be the most conservative process that I would recommend to you under the law.
Great, thank you. Does that, Commissioner Gilman, does that summarize what your understanding is, kind of where
Yes.
we're at? Very good, thank you.
Can I jump in, Mr. Chair? Austin Osborne for the record. And then that motion also would not include a particular date by which these things should happen. I would ask, that's what I'm hearing at least, I would ask if, at least at this point, can a discussion be made that it's not going to be November? That does take a little bit of a different approach on our team, whether all these things need to occur by November or at a later time. If it's a later time, later can be whatever you want it to be. If it's November earlier, there's things that we would need to start preparing for now.
Can we
So-
say at a date after the first of the year? Or does it have to be a specific date?
I don't,
I believe it can be what you like. And
yeah,
what
I
Mr.
don't think
Brown
at this
says
point
is
we
okay.
need a specific date. I think if we're just instructing staff that we're not expecting them to have the process wrapped up by the beginning of November, then as the process goes forward, I think we can provide further guidance and say, hey, this is when we'd like it done. Does that work?
Would you like, Mr. Chairman, then, is what I'm hearing is that,
Mr. Acting Chairman.
oh, acting.
I don't want any,
Mr. Acting Chairman, I'm glad that you're not letting this get to your head. Just to make sure it's real clear, so we move accordingly, that you do not want us to begin the recruitment process on or before November. I'm hearing a little bit, probably not on before January 1st. And if that's the case, somewhere around November, would you like us to bring to you the process that we're going to put together? HR Director Brown Lopez at any time could explain this is how it works, this is the policy, give you a really good structure of what's going to happen, and then say at that point, we are prepared to post by this date and have everything wrapped up and ready for you guys by January 1st or later, however you guys decide to choose when to do the appointment. But that would at least give us a window of opportunity of when to work. Does that make sense? If it doesn't, I can clarify.
yeah, I mean, I think what I would like is to start the process with no necessary deadline at this point.
Okay.
But I'll give you an example. You know, we had quite a robust conversation around the gym here in town. It's been a year and we haven't done anything on that. And some of that falls on me. I have some work to do there. But we've identified a need and I'd like to get going on it. I don't want to just wait until November to have the next round. I'd like to, as that forms, I'd like to have some updates on that so that we can kind of consider whatever is in the works or whatever progress has been made. I'm totally fine with an expectation that we won't be taking a final action on it. That being said, there are a couple different dates. I mean, we're talking about a date. The question is date for appointment, date for the appointment to become effective. It could be a different date than when we make our decision, right? There could be some lead time in there. And so I'd like to not wait until November to get an update on how the process is going. That feels like a long ways away. I'd like to be down the road a little bit further by the time we get to that point for sure, with the understanding that we're maybe not launching the process, but if we're ready to start that recruitment process at the end of September, middle of October, even if it's then going to take another month or two to get it completed, I don't want to artificially wait.
Okay,
I don't know what Commissioner Gilman's thoughts are on that.
I mean, November puts us, what, 4 meetings away? So, I don't really have an issue with that. I understand where you're coming from. I think we need to have a reasonable time frame for our staff to put something together like this. I don't know if we've done this before or if this is something new that we've done. So I want to at least give them time to put their thoughts together and bring them back so we can understand what direction we're going and what they need to do to make this process work.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, it seems to me that in many ways we're following a pattern that we use for, while this is a little different because it's appointing an elected official, overall it's a pattern that we use for key position recruitment. And so I don't think we're reinventing the wheel completely. Anyway, I don't feel a need to put a deadline on it. I would like to, if we feel like we get the process to a point where it's coming together, I'd like them to bring it and then we can consider and.
Totally
Is that-
understand.
Is that a fair,
Yes,
way to
yes.
take it? And that way, we don't have a deadline, but if, if things are moving forward and then one of these meetings this month, next month, or even into November, when, as soon as you're ready, agendize it and let's consider it.
Okay, so I'm Austin Osborne for the record. I want to make sure I'm understanding very clearly this conversation. That the other things that we talked about, how this thing would be put together, would apply still, as far as the committee, those sorts of things. The second thing is, between now and sometime in November, to provide you the process by which we are going to do the recruitment, so you're aware of how this is going to look, to even some detail. That's what the direction is at this point. The direction at this point is not to actually begin recruiting. That means we are not actually going to post and start pulling people and candidates at this point. That would be subject to further board direction at a future meeting.
Correct. That's what I'd like to happen. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Very good. All right. So then we'll need a motion on this.
And I have no idea how to put that motion together.
I think you can just reference the conversation had on the record to approve staff guidance in accordance with the conversation that we had on the record in the meeting.
So I, Commissioner Gilman, move to have staff work on a
recruitment
process as discussed in today's meeting.
And may I, Mr. Chairman, just kind of bullet point a couple of those things, and if you agree with it, that would be part of the motion. We've done that before,
Please.
as long as Brian says it's okay. I'm seeing a nod. I hope I get to remember all these things. Okay, and that motion would include the recruitment process, however we decide to do it as a team, but it will include the normal policy recruitment processes, postings, things like that. Vetting out to make sure folks are qualified for the job. And this next thing would be that we would put a committee together to vet and to come up with a recommendation for this board for the actual appointee. That committee would not include a county commissioner. And at this point, there is no, that the process by which we would be doing all of this would be outlined and provided to this board on or before November for this board to look and say, we like that plan, that looks good. And then for the board at a later date, beyond November, to direct staff then to begin the recruitment process at such date that it feels appropriate then.
Correct.
Thank you.
I mean, the only modification I'd make to that is if you bring that process packaged up, ready to go to us second meeting of October.
Yeah, so he said on or before, so.
Right, but then later he said we would not start the recruitment till after, and I think I would just caveat that with if the process is ready to go, then we may trigger it at that time and say, start the process.
Okay, so that's still then, whether it be November, October, next meeting, this board at that time would make a determination whether it wants to begin a recruitment process then or at some specified future date.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm comfortable with that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Very good. So we have a motion. I will second that motion. Before we vote on it, I'll just go one more time for any public comment. We've talked this around in circles quite a bit, so anyone else want to weigh in? Very good. Before we vote on it, Brian, one of the questions that came to my mind as we were discussing this is if there are any residency time requirements, meaning a certain length of time that someone has to be a resident of the county to be eligible for this. You may already know that answer. I'm not expecting an answer right now, but something I'd like to look into as part of kind of getting ready for that process.
Yes, there is a 30-day residency requirement prior to appointment.
Very good, thank you. All right.
Or even filing for the office. I know they didn't ask that question, but there's a 30-day residency requirement before you file for the office as well. So, yes, there is a residency requirement.
Very good, thank you. Absolutely, Mr. Hindle.
Jim Hindle, Clerk and Treasurer, and on that, in order to run for the office, the qualification, as Assistant District Attorney Brown said, is 30 days residence, and then they must be a registered voter within the county. So they have to be a registered voter on our list.
Thank you. Is that, Mr. Hindle, is that a recent change from elector to registered voter?
Correct.
Okay,
Right.
thank you.
In the past, it used to be that they need to be qualified to be a registered voter, but now the statute has been changed to make all people who run for office a registered voter, not just qualified for it.
Thank you very much. All right, we have a motion, we have a second. If there's nothing else, I'll call for a vote. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Vote is unanimous. Thank you. We will take a short recess. We'll reconvene around 11:35, 3-4 minutes. Okay. Storms mess things up around your place? Did the storms mess things up around your place?
No, not at all. It's been fine. Actually, it's so weird. It's like a quarter of a mile to the east where all the rain is coming down.
You're in the banana belt.
Right? Yeah, those new traffic signs, the stop signs they put in, is actually making a difference already. Already hearing from people out there, it's making a difference.
Okay. Can't wait to see when we get the signals.
Yeah. I think we'll see a big difference when those signals go in and people can make that left turn. I think that's gonna make a huge difference.
Yeah, and just overall, having gaps and the right turns on the other side of you too.
I think that's what's happening getting on the freeway too. You're now having gaps and people coming off the side streets on the left now have a chance. And people are actually letting them, instead of just zooming by. I'm worried about the distribution center there on Wild Horse Canyon. That's a big building. I don't know if you've seen that. Probably 750,000 square feet. It's big, and it's got a lot of bays. If you have a truck starting to come out of that, that's gonna do something. That'll cause some issues.
Is it being built on spec or?
It's already built.
Is it rented, you know, if it's rented? Are they struggling a little bit?
I think they will.
Yeah.
I think they'll struggle with that building on that page.
I mean, it's funny because I listen to like Part Tolls talk on Sam Shad and stuff, and it's like, talking about they're still building warehouses, and it's like, yes or no? Read the cards, man, like it's.
Well, but you know, Parr, you know, listening to him, they're cutting back, they're not building too much, you know?
Right.
And I thought I was doing something wrong this year, and then to hear he's having the same issues, I'm like, okay, well, maybe I'm not doing it.
Yeah. Well, CME Group has a FedWatch tool.
Yeah.
The chance of a rate cuts up to 91.7% of the prediction model, so. 2 days ago it was 86%. So
Okay.
the market seems to be pretty sure that that's the direction it's heading.
Tom's all good, by the way. Okay. I said, you know, we're all on the same page. He's like, no, I do. I was like, okay. As long as you know that.
Yeah. That's why I went and caught him. I didn't want him thinking that we were ignoring him. I just said, look, This is really procedural. We don't normally have discussion during the public hearings just to receive the comments, but we're about to talk about this stuff.
Right.
We're happy to address your questions, so.
Nice, because I asked the same thing. I'm like, I'm glad you came back. There's more to it than that, so.
Yeah. Well, it's hard to know because we're so procedural, you know what I mean? Like,
Right.
it's easy to feel like, oh, I'm just moving on to the next thing.
You explained to it, public comment, not public discussion.
Not really, but
I talked to him for quite a bit down there. He's good. He's like, I appreciate all of you for.
By the way, for making us go through this, just letting you know.
Oh yeah, you're welcome. Hey, if you're a university professor, how's their own way of doing things. It's not my fault. You should have said it. It's being recorded right now. You could have at least said it. Said it. Hand gestures.
hey, that would get us demonetized. Not that we're monetized, but Washington County, City Arena is.
I got text that audio.
Yeah.
We know. Thanks, Drew.
City of Reno monetizes their city council meetings, like they run ads. And I'm like,
Seriously?
you guys budget that tight?
We should run ads.
Well, they're also in a financial bind right now, so maybe let's not.
Did you see the Washoe DA got arrested? Deputy DA? Saturday for gross lewdness.
Yeah. Are they sure that's who it is?
Yeah.
I mean, I know the name is similar, but.
No, they've said it is. Deputy DA. Ouch. Who are we waiting on?
We can start it.
Should we wait for Jim?
Details.
Details. I spoke to Tom outside.
Oh, God.
He's very thankful for all of us.
Oh, yeah, I know.
We're on the same page, so.
There's no rush on these things. Let our pause and screw it up.
That's what I explained to him too. Oh, you guys saw that? They got a suspect on that murder at Burning Man?
Yeah.
Yep. Somebody, I guess, knifed him. Yeah? Take your time though with the coffee, Jim. Yeah. We're still running our ads in between our YouTube channels.
Folgers this time, right?
Yeah.
Trying to fill that gap.
Jay.
Yeah, we're ready.
Yeah, check with him.
All right, we're gonna go ahead and reconvene our meeting. It is 11:41, and I'm gonna pass the gavel back over to the rightful chairman.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. All right, thank you, everybody. We're on to item number 22, discussion of possible action. Discussion of possible consideration approving the Storey County Emergency Management staff to accept a donation of the Nevada Department of Public Health mass casualty trailer. That's positive. Adam?
Good afternoon now. Adam Wilson, Director of Emergency Management. So with the changes up at the state level where Department of Health and Human Services is now part of Department of Agriculture and the Division of Public and Behavioral Health has been broken up, they can no longer support the 17 mass casualty trailers that the state maintains across all the counties in the state. They sent an email on June 20th of this year asking each of the counties if they would be interested in accepting donation of the trailer and all equipment contained inside. It is the recommendation of our staff that we accept that. We had fire inspect the equipment, as most of it's medical. We had our Director of Health inspect the equipment, and we had Trent with the service shop inspect the trailer itself for mechanical sound and all approved of all the equipment inside and the trailer itself. as being mechanically sound. We do use this trailer regularly in support of our special events. It can help resupply the rescues up here that fire district uses in the event of a mass casualty incident. In addition, the letter states that once we accept donation of this trailer, we do not have to use it for that purpose. We could repurpose it for whatever we want. We can do whatever we want with the contents inside. So we're not locked into using it in that fashion if we do not wish to do so. And I'll take any questions.
Thank you, Adam. Commissioner Gilman, do you have any questions or comments?
Just out of curiosity, is it like a, like staging for, if there was a mass casualty, or is it like a larger, like ambulance type thing? Just
It's
medical?
a 10,000 pound GVWR trailer by Pace America, and it's a very nice piece of equipment. It has 360-degree outside lighting, heating and air conditioning inside, and the ability to hook up to shore power.
So you can treat people in this trailer?
It has the equipment to treat people outside of the trailer. It comes with 2 plain canopy tents and 3 color-coded tents that first responders use to organize patients in the event, and then it has the equipment inside to help restock ambulances as they transport and treat patients. And then it has all the command equipment, oxygen tanks, stretchers, starts getting a little dark, body bags, things like that.
Okay, thank you.
Brand new generator that Trent and his team recently serviced and said it was in really great working order as well.
Thank you. All right, Vice Chairman?
I don't have any questions.
Okay, the only question I have, Adam, you're currently equipped with something to tow this, right?
Yes, the EM truck is specific to tow trailers like that. We even helped the sheriff's office out towing one of their big trailers with the EM truck, so we would not need any new equipment for this.
Awesome, all right.
His truck is donated.
Yes, and our truck was purchased on a grant, so.
Awesome, okay. Is there any public comment regarding this item? Not seeing any. Vice Chairman, you prepared to make a motion?
Yeah, I, Commissioner Mitchell, move to proceed with approval and acceptance of the mass casualty trailer from the state of Nevada.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye?
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously. Congrats.
Thank you.
Hopefully we never need it. On to item number 24, discussion for possible action. Consideration and possible approval to appoint Lisa Massell, Storey County Administrative Officer, as the Storey County Language Access Plan Facilitator. Austin.
All right, thank you, Commissioners. Austin Osborne for the record. Per NRS 244-184, we need to have a designee that would be responsible for writing and updating and maintaining the Storey County Language Access Plan. That is a plan that deals with folks that are English as second language, whether they're customers or otherwise that we deal with in the county. And Lisa is well positioned to do that. She's taken on a lot of the initiation on this already and moving forward to make us compliant, and also to address the needs that we have with multiple different companies out at Tri-Center and otherwise that we work with. And so I think not only is this a compliance matter, but it's also something that is going to make us a better organization and working with our contractors. So I recommend Lisa Massell. She will then begin writing the language access plan.
All right, thank you, Austin. Commissioner Gilman, questions or comments?
None, thank you.
Vice Chairman?
No, thank you.
All right, is there any public comment? Not seeing any. Vice Chairman, you prepared to make a motion?
Yeah, I, Commissioner Mitchell, move to appoint Lisa Massell, Storey County Administration Officer, as the Storey County Language Access Plan Facilitator in accordance with NRS 244.184 to be responsible for developing and biennially revising a language access plan for Storey County.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Motion passes unanimously. Moving on to item number 25 is discussion for possible action. Public workshop discussion with the Language Access Plan Facilitator regarding additional development and implementation of the Storey County Language Access Plan. You ready for this?
Good morning, Lisa
Hey,
Massell
we got
for the
one of those
record.
now.
It's like the magic of TV, it's very fast.
Right.
So I have drafted the Language Access Plan, which aligns with Nevada Senate Bill 318, which was actually passed in 2021, Assembly Bill 266, which was passed in 2023,
Title VI of the Civil Rights Act of 1964 and NRS 244 and 268. What this plan does is it promotes equitable access to vital documents, public meetings, and essential services that we offer by offering communication in an individual's preferred language if they are limited in English proficiency. So essentially, the Board of Commissioners appoints the language access facilitator, which we've now done then. And then we take input from the public that the board solicits, as well as from different staff members to create this plan and add anything additional that we see fit. Going through this plan, I pulled up the NRS and just basically put the minimum requirements needed into it to keep it from being not too complicated, not too burdensome. So what we need to do in the future is we need to ensure that we are tracking the number of people and the languages that we are assisting with translation services. And I've created a Microsoft Forms data collection sheet, essentially, which only Storey County employees can access, or anybody with the Storey County login. And then we can use this to determine how much money we're going to need in future budgets, what we need to look at addressing, what items we are not currently addressing for individuals throughout the county, residents, and contractors that we may be working with. All employees and contractors and affiliates have to comply with federal, state, and county language access laws. So this is kind of the initial steps to start on this process. We'll be tracking all this information and supplying it to the governor's office on New Americans. This language plan has to be drafted essentially every 2 years and submitted in August. We are a little bit late, so what I would look at doing is this year have the draft, see if we get any additional input from residents and employees, and then update, and then next year we'd be back on track after submitting to the governor's office every 2 years. Our current county website does support 249 languages through Google Translate. We also, as employees, have access to Microsoft Translator and Google translation services so that we can actually translate real time if need be on a cell phone or through email. There's various training that is listed within the plan so that if employees need training on how they could communicate with individuals and just learn a little bit about the cultures of different people, it's available. And then I will work with our HR as needed if we need additional services. And HR does actually keep track of employees who do have another language. And so we'll ensure that employees are aware of that service available through Storey County HR should they need somebody like the sheriff. If a deputy is out and needs assistance with language services, they'll be able to call and find out if there's an employee that can assist in translating. But this initial plan is basically for any public or staff feedback, and then I anticipate if there's no additional changes to present at the next board meeting for final approval before submitting to the governor's office. And that's all I have right now at this time.
Thank you, Lisa. Or should I say gracias?
Si.
Commissioner Gilman, do you have any questions or comments?
No, thank you.
De nada.
De nada.
Response, yeah. Anyway, Vice Chairman.
Thank you, Lisa. Thank you for putting this together. I think it's important. I'm perfectly fine with us getting in place kind of a basic plan now and then looking at the future. The areas of focus that are kind of important in my mind for maybe something more, some more specific translation have to do with business development, business licensing. I want to make sure we get those just right. And so maybe that's a down the road thing, a next year type of a thing, but making sure we have the resources to make sure that our written materials are really well thought out and say what we want them to say. Sometimes the automated translation loses a little bit of the essence. So, and then of course something similar for social services and those kind of things. Want to make sure that people really understand what's available, what we offer for seniors and other services. But thank you.
All right. Is there any public comment? Not seeing any. Vice Chairman, you prepared to make a motion?
I am. I'm back up here to it. So the recommended motion has to do with following recommended changes. I mean, I think we can just make a motion to adopt. Is that where we're at? Or are we
If you would like to.
adopt the draft plan and then, I mean, I'm comfortable doing that. That gets us in compliance, it gets us started, and then it's gonna be something that we need to review every year anyway, so.
Yep, that works for me, and you've made your request with Lisa on the record.
Yeah, but again, I don't feel like that's something that needs to happen right away.
Right.
It's something that can be worked on in the future, so.
Yeah.
So I, Commissioner Mitchell, move to adopt the language, move to direct the language access plan facilitator to adopt and implement the language access plan as presented to meet the requirements of NRS 244.184.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Motion passes unanimously. Thank you, Lisa. Thank you for taking on that responsibility. On to item number 26, discussion for possible action and possible approval, amending the list of county appointments to serve on state, county, and regional boards and committees, filling vacancies on the Nevada Local Justice Reinvestment Coordinating Council. Austin?
All right, thank you, Mr. Commissioners, Chairman Austin Osborne for the record. It is that time of year to suggest a new appointment to this commission. This is a committee that makes recommendations under NRS 176 to the Nevada Sentencing Commission. And this individual, along with the committee, would be providing recommendations based on sentencing for different crimes, the rules and policies that they use for this stuff, receiving grants and applying for grants, legislative actions and reviews, their budget, collaboration between them and Health and Human Services for preventative programs, and identifying the local needs of the county, all with really the focus on reducing recidivism in the prison system. At this point, the sheriff is recommending that Sergeant Dan Gaunt be appointed to this position. He seems to be qualified for this, and therefore I would recommend the same. And I ask if the sheriff has anything he wants to add to this, or if we're good. Thank you.
Thank you, Austin.
Sheriff Cullen for the record, Sergeant Gaunt's actually at the jail right now, working on some stuff, so he couldn't attend. Yes, Dan is actually most qualified, I think, at this point, as far as working with our jail and with this topic. So, but I'll answer any questions if you have any.
Thank you, Sheriff. Commissioner Gilman, do you have any questions or comments about this item?
None, thank you.
All right. Vice Chairman?
No, I'm good, thanks.
Okay. Glad we had somebody. Thank you, Sheriff. Any public comment? Not seeing any. Vice Chairman, you prepared to make a motion?
Yeah, I, Commissioner Mitchell, move to approve the list of appointments recommended by staff and closed herewith.
Second.
All right, there's a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Motion passes unanimously. On to item number 27, discussion for possible action. Consideration and possible approval of the second reading of business licenses A through I. Commissioner Gilman, questions or comments?
None, thank you.
Vice Chairman?
No.
Public comment? Not seeing any. Vice Chairman, you prepared to make a motion?
I am. I move to approve the second reading of business licenses under item 27 listed as A through I.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Motion passes unanimously. On to item number 28. This is the second and final time for public comment. Is there any public comment in the courtroom?
Just as much as I'm on public speaking,
I'm sorry, Jason.
missed item 10, the highway commission.
Oh, my goodness. I was like, what are you here for, man? I thought we were done. Hold on. It's not 10.
We skipped over that for the public hearing, or to move to the fire stuff before the public hearing.
Make sure you convene as a fire board.
Yep, hold on. Fire board.
I mean, sorry, highway board.
Yeah, hold on. Sorry, Jason.
So I don't know if we specifically,
Hold on, I'm looking.
So you went, you recessed as the highway board, which is number 10, and then you went to the public hearing.
right, I think what Jason's saying is typically we have a report on from the highway board.
Oh, it's
And-
not on the agenda.
And we
Yeah,
did,
it's item 10.
oh, item 10 is just to
recess.
convene, just to convene as the board.
There's no update.
Oh,
Oh, is there an update? I
there's
thought on the last
supposed to be
meeting.
an update every month.
every
Do you
time.
want
First
to
of every
provide
month.
an update during public comment? I don't know if Brian says that's okay, but I mean, it would provide you an opportunity to provide.
Yeah, because I thought the agenda item looked weird because it was supposed to be consideration,
Right.
update
Yeah,
on
it's just
the
recess to convene.
roads and highways throughout the county.
If something looks weird, just,
So how about this?
I'd noticed it this morning, I didn't see it before.
do you want to just do it during public comment? If
Yeah,
Brian's okay?
Brian, are you good with that if we do it during public comment?
That's fine for the update, just remember you cannot deliberate or make any decisions during public comment.
Thank you, Brian.
And should I put the timer on, just so everything is consistent, even though it's staff?
No, I mean, the chair has discretion.
Jason, is it under 3 minutes?
It'll be close.
All right.
You know how much I love public speaking.
Right. That's what I was, yeah, okay. So we're on to item number 28, which is public comment.
All right, Jason Worsbicky, Storey County Public Works Director for the record. As most of you know, last week was a very busy week for us with water leaks and torrential rainstorms over several days throughout the county. As part of Road Rehab 2025, Monday started out with crews construction running over one of our valve can risers at DN Union, causing the saddle tap to break off. So we had about a 100-foot geyser shooting straight up into the air before we were able to finally free up the valve at C and Union Street. Unfortunately, that valve did not stop the leak at the time. Per the GIS maps we have, it should have shut down the leak. And then with the historical knowledge of Mike Nevin, there was another valve that was not or had not been marked and put into the GIS back in the day at Sutton and D. Once that was shut down, along with the valve on C Street, we were able to make the repair. Fortunately, no domestic water was affected for any customers. Only a fire riser was affected. We have been running into a lot of these situations throughout the community, finding out that there are a lot of missing items on the GIS map that has been creating repairs or making repairs a little more lengthy, trying to run them down. Then came the downpour. We had to readjust half the crew.
If you don't mind pausing, Jason.
No, I don't mind pausing at all.
It's the longest exhale you'll ever hear. Probably good.
Alrighty, continuing on. Then came the downpour. We had to readjust about half the crew and mobilize some equipment down 6 Mile to get that back open because Sheriff's Office had closed it out of an abundance of caution for the debris in the roadway. We were able to mitigate that within a few hours and get the road back open. Then Tuesday, even though Sheriff's Night Out was canceled, it turned into a Public Works Night Out due to the next round of downpours. We were back out in 6 Mile and at Tri this time. Wednesday, same deal, another rain event. We were back down 6 Mile and out at Tri. Unfortunately, we lost the road shoulder at Tri, washed out a bunch of culverts, exposed 8 fiber optic lines that control all of Tesla and everything else. So we had to, long story short, we have to come up with a work plan to handle any and all kinds of fiber optic and have to have representatives on site before we're allowed to even touch them. So as of about an hour and a half ago, we got the approval for the work plan, so S&C will be going full bore tomorrow morning with emergency repair. Part of the road got undermined, so we're going to have to salk that out a full lane width and about a 30 to 40 foot long stretch and repave that, even though it was a brand new road a couple years ago. Thursday, went out with Kathy and her team. We looked at all the drainage issues. There was a lot of drainage issues throughout the Tri Park along the roads, and drainages and everything else, but that all seems to be getting mitigated. As another part of the 2025 road rehab project, slurry sealing was complete. By last Friday, the end of the day, sounds like everything turned out okay. And the 6 mile turnaround is complete. We're doing the final walkthrough this afternoon with all the signage is in place. We're just waiting on one flashing LED sign that'll go down next to Highway 50 saying no trucks. And that's all I have. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you for that report, Jason. Commissioner Gilman, questions or? Oh.
No, thank you.
I'm sorry, there's no questions or comments.
Yeah.
Do you have anything you want to say?
No, I'll mention something to Jason afterwards. During public comment.
Yeah, just wanted to say thank you to you and your team.
Yeah, it was an interesting week last week, that's for sure.
Yeah, oh, for sure. Thank you. Is there any other public comment? Not seeing any, brings us to item number 29, which is adjournment of all active and recessed boards on the agenda. It is 12:03 and this meeting is adjourned. You all have a wonderful week.